YouTube? I am back with another video, and in this one we have an update on the vintage collection that I purchased from a couple videos ago. So I didn't actually necessarily purchase this. I'm actually helping someone who I've known for a long time get rid of it or sell it. They said that they basically had these cards for decades. They've just been collecting dust, so they want to get rid of them, and pretty much whatever I'm able to get, they are totally okay with. So I actually originally offered them $250 for the collection. I thought that would give me plenty of room to basically do whatever I wanted with them, whether it be to grade some or just to resell them as a lot. And they were totally okay with that. But we talked about it, and we actually came to the decision to let me take these home, do some research, see what I wanted to do about selling them and everything. And I was like, if I'm way off, I will, definitely give you more, or if I'm off the other way, we can do that as well. So I think after everything is said and done on this collection, I'm gonna be able to make before shipping and fees on everything right around $800. I think after fees and shipping, it's probably going to be maybe closer to like 6 or 7. Again, it's really going to depend on some of the grades that we get back. And I'm going to talk about the few cards that I am sending to SGC as well. So before we get into that, let's just go ahead and show everything that is actually already sold. So I've actually sold the majority of the collection already. Now, I don't have the 2 boxes. If you guys did see that video a couple of videos ago, there were 2 boxes full of cards, basically from the same era, like late 60s, early 70s. And they were just like the lower value stuff, the names that people aren't necessarily super familiar with, maybe like nickel dime cards. There might be a few in there worth a couple of bucks. But I actually sold both of those boxes to the same person for $50. So, nothing crazy there. Could have potentially gotten more, but I just didn't want to do the work. There were hundreds of cards in there. I didn't want to go through every single card. So I sold both of those boxes for $50. And then I also sold all of the tall boy basketball cards all together for $60, minus the Wilt Chamberlain. So the person actually said that they weren't interested in the Wilt because it looked like it had been folded in half, which is true. It is in very rough condition. But even so, in that condition, that Wilt is probably worth more than all the other cards put together. So I was totally fine with getting rid of these for $60. So just kind of flip through these real quick. There are actually a couple of Jerry Lucas cards. There's Wes Unseld, an all-time great. There's the other Jerry Lucas, Elvin Hayes. So most of these are, I think that's in there by mistake, but most of these are in pretty rough shape. And there's a football card. But anyway, those were all sold for $60. So with the 2 boxes and the tall boy basketball cards, we are at $110. And then we had the rest of the collection over here that were, in those binder pages. And these were basically like the middle of the road cards, where there's still some really good names in here. For example, the Reggie Jackson, there's Rod Carew, Bert Blyleven, Jim Bunning, Willie Stargell. So there's some really good names in there, but the value is just not quite there. It would be way too much time and work for me to individually try to list those and sell those on eBay for $5 here, $10 here. Or also, I didn't think the condition was quite there on most of those to send to SGC. I didn't think if I sent it to SGC and it got like a 2, 3, or 4, I didn't really think it would be worth it as far as value increase. And honestly, I'm not even 100% worth it. It's gonna be worth it on these over here. But if nothing else, I'm basically just doing it for content for another video to show a vintage return, because I don't deal with a lot of vintage. So it is a little bit of a learning experience for me too, to see, what kind of grades these are gonna get. I do have my predictions for those cards, so we'll talk about those here in a minute. But I do want to mention real quick, this stack, I actually did sell the entire stack here for $200. So the grand total so far before the few cards that we are gonna grade is $310. So we sold the 2 boxes, the tall boys, and then the majority of the collection there for $200. So total so far is $310. And now we will move into the 5 cards that I'm going to send to SGC. I'm going to give my grade predictions and then the value if they are graded in those grades. So first up, this is going to be the most valuable card. I actually did take these by Louisville Sports Cards as well, had them look at them, give me their grade predictions as well, because they deal in a lot more vintage than I do. And they were actually, there was some wax on this Nolan Ryan they were actually able to get off. So glad I went there. They were able to get that off, which should help the grade quite a bit. But prediction on the Nolan Ryan is going to be an SGC4. And, you know, it could, I'm guessing most of the grades that we kind of predict, it could be, I would say probably like a grade of 1, give or take. So I'm going to predict a 4 on this. I wouldn't be surprised if it got a 3. I wouldn't be surprised if it got a 5. 5 would be very nice. That would be a pretty decent little price jump there. But the Nolan Ryan, if this one does get an SGC4, value is going to be right around 200 on that one. So really, you know, pretty valuable card for this particular collection, that is. And then we are going to send in the Mickey Mantle. I believe this one was from 71. I could be wrong. I still don't have these years, you know, memorized. But this one is in pretty rough shape. Grade prediction on this one is probably going to be like a 1.5 or 2. And the value on the Mantle in an SGC 1.5 or 2 is going to be right around $100. So, you know, these 2 cards right here, my prediction is going to be about $300. So these 2 cards alone is basically the same value as the entire rest of the collection. And then we are going to send in the Hank Aaron. Grade prediction on this one is going to be another SGC4. I think the value on this one in an SGC4 is going to be about $80 or $90. So definitely nothing too crazy here. But I do also want to mention another reason why I am sending these to SGC is just because once this is graded, it's a, you know, whatever it gets, an SGC4, a 3, that's what it is, you know, and no one can question, you know, rather if I sell this raw on eBay and someone gets it and they're like, oh man, I couldn't really tell the condition was that bad in the picture. You know, you can't really do that if a card is already graded. So there's just a less likely chance that it will be returned. So that's another reason why I want to grade these bigger ones. So Hank Aaron, I believe, again, I think that's about an $80 value in an SGC4. And then we have another Nolan Ryan. Believe the grade prediction was also a 4 on this one. So we have 3 SGC4s and an SGC like 1.5 or 2 maybe. So the Nolan Ryan here, SGC4, I think this one was pretty similar to the Hank Aaron, about a $75 value. And then finally, the last card we are going to send is the Wilt Chamberlain. And my grade prediction on this one is a 1. If they even give it a grade at all, it could just be authentic. I'm not 100% sure. It does have a pretty bad crease going down the middle. Corners are pretty rough. There's definitely there's a crease down there. So honestly, I don't even know if this would get a number grade. It might just be graded authentic. But even in authentic or a 1, it's still like $100 value. So pretty nice one there, Wilt Chamberlain. And those are the 5 cards we are going to send. I will definitely be sure to show a video once these do come back and, you know, kind of compare what they actually got to what I predicted. So again, we got 3, let's see, these 3 I'm predicting an SGC4. And then on these 2, the Mickey Mantle, probably like a 1.5 or 2. And then this one is either going to be a 1 or authentic. And total value on the 5 graded cards is going to be somewhere around $400 to $500. So total value on the entire collection is going to be about $700 to $800. And then of course, you do have shipping and fees on everything. So, you know, I'm planning on probably going to eBay with these unless anyone is interested out there. Once they come back, feel free to hit me up on Instagram. That would save me some fees. But you know, if this does sell for $200, the fee is going to be like $20, $25. So anyway, I do think when everything is said and done, should be about $600 or $700 in profit. And I'll probably, you know, after fees, shipping, all that, I'll probably just split it down the middle with the person that I got the collection from. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. I would definitely be interested to know if you have any thoughts on what I am sending to be graded, I would be certainly interested to hear those. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and stay tuned in a couple weeks. I'm going to show an update video once I do get them back from SGC, as well as, now that I'm thinking about it, I was going to say as well as after I sell them on eBay, but maybe just when I get them back from SGC so I can offer them to you guys if anyone is interested. Or you can feel free to hit me up and say, hey, once those come back, let me know. Maybe we can do that as well. So anyway, I'm just kind of thinking as I talk here, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon.